Welcome back to Pitchside here on Foundation of Light Day. No goals of any kind this afternoon to talk about. It was a slow game at times, it was a scrappy game at times, but I guess the main thing is, and lots of people have mentioned to us as we've made our way back down to Pitchside here, the rot has been stopped.
Yeah, stop the rot, clean sheet, all these positives to take from the game really. But no, it wasn't a classic, was it? I think, as you say, coming back down to the pitch, the amount of people have huffed and puffed at us walking back the other way, going out the exit doors. But listen, I think, we just said it there, didn't we? Asmir Begovic, has he had a save to make throughout the 90 minutes? Not that we can remember. Dan Neil had that effort in the first half, just over the top of the bar from the halfway line, and we're clutching at straws in terms of opportunities. I think Sinclair for them, come off the bench, he was a handful. Had a few efforts on goal, didn't he? But, it's one of those, you take the point now, we go into the international break, regroup, get one or two bodies back from the treatment room. Obviously Luke's back from suspension as well, and we try to go again for the remaining 8 games, is it? Yeah,
let's have a look through the game then. It's some of the moments. I wouldn't use the words highlights because Sunderland fans inside the ground today, they know what kind of game they've seen today, but I think Mike Dodds will be happy that we have got that clean sheet, that we have got something to build on, haven't we, after today? Yeah, and hopefully after the international break, players back as well.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, a little bit of relief, I think. Obviously you can see from the so-called highlights that Anthony Patterson was obviously the busiest keeper in that one there. That's perhaps the biggest chance of the game, isn't it? And it's through a mistake from ourselves. Dan Ballard plays that square ball, doesn't spot him, and he hasn't quite put it in the corner, as he gives Anthony Patterson the opportunity to get across his line and to make the save. And I don't think either team had control of the game for long periods today. We had little moments. Mundell, who was bright at times.
Did you feel the game was in the balance all the way through? It could have gone either way.
Well, I think you said it around 72, 73 minutes where it was quiet in here. Almost the fans are waiting for something to happen. Probably a little bit edgy as well after the run of results we've had as well. Are either team going to go on and get a late winner? And to be honest, they perhaps looked the most likely, didn't they? As I said, with Sinclair Armstrong coming off the bench, and he was a handful, and he had 2 or 3 opportunities.
He did, yeah.
You're looking at, from our point of view, O'Sheesh again trying to get on it, trying to make things happen. Frustrating afternoon for him. You see him late on trying to get a couple of free kicks. Felt he was fouled. Referee didn't give the decisions. Both sides making changes throughout the game as well. Some bizarre ones. That one there was a strange decision, wasn't it, from the linesman?
This was given as a foul.
Yeah, Clark Salter's got him round the neck. Yeah, and brings him down to the ground. But they get the free kick. But aside, it's not one of those games really where you can talk about the referee too much. I don't think either. Just a frustrating afternoon in the stadium. Almost the game felt it was played in second gear at times, really, wasn't it? There weren't too many thundering challenges going in. Was it 70 odd minutes before Trey Hume got booked? And I think was that the first booking of the game?
Jimmy Dunn was booked in the first half.
He was, down that far side. There
was only 3 bookings in the game.
Yeah. So it wasn't a fiery, ferocious game either, was it really? But I think from our point of view, you could see we played, not say played within ourselves, just played where. The one where you had it first half, Hemi, I'm not sure if we're going to see it there, but he nicked it off Steve Cook and didn't back himself to drive towards goal. He put the brakes on looking for support and slowed it down.
Is that a confidence thing with the team playing with 6 defeats on a row?
I think it is, but at the same time, I'm thinking if you're a player and you've been in and out of the side, you want to take the game by the scruff of the neck and say to the coaching staff and to the fans, really, look, I'm going to get the opportunity, I'm going to make it count, and that was his big opportunity for me, Hemir, there to back himself, drive at goal and to pull the trigger, and he didn't do so.
Chris Rigg involved here with Begovic. It's probably as close as we came in the second half. And Queen's Park Rangers have a good chance coming up as well.
Yeah, Chris Rigg, come on, again, he's busy and bright down that right-hand side trying to get involved, but is Armstrong now, and he had 2 or 3 from this pretty much a similar spot, didn't he? Tries to go with this firm side foot finish. It's a difficult one to try and to beat Anthony Patterson from that angle there, and he gets down with the legs, and he had a couple, didn't he? And he comes again. You think it's a carbon
This
copy.
Is a great opportunity, but equally a good save from Anthony Patterson, who was called upon a couple of times.
He was, again, getting across. He actually slips there, doesn't he? I think, and then gets back up and makes another good save. So you're probably looking for, if you're looking for a man of the match, you're probably looking at Anthony Patterson today, and that tells the story, really, doesn't it? As I said, I think Mundell had a couple of moments in the game where he was trying to get on the front foot, trying to be bright. But it was difficult again to pick a man of the match. Dan Neil, I thought, had good moments in the second half as well, distribution wise. But yeah, as much as we huffed and puffed, it's one of the old sayings, isn't it? We could play till midnight and we perhaps wouldn't have scored. So we just have to take the points and we move on from here. But again, here he comes again, Armstrong driving forward. not going to score from there, is he? So I think they'll be happy with the point as well, to be fair to them. Maybe if you speak to their manager, he probably thought they could have shaded it and took their 3 points, but off the back of their result last week at Middlesbrough at home, they'll be happy to get back to drawing ways.
Non-lossing ways.
Yes, correct.
Let's have a look at the results around the Championship this afternoon as it tries to rain on us here, pitch side at the Stadium of Light. Swansea City versus Cardiff. South Wales derby was the early kick-off. 2-0 it finished to Swansea in that one. In the other games, Birmingham City 0, Watford 1, Ipswich Town 6, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Middlesbrough 0, Blackburn Rovers 0, Plymouth Argyle 0, Preston North End 1, Rotherham United 0, Huddersfield Town 0, Stoke City 0, Norwich 3, West Brom 2, Bristol City 0. Let's see what that does to the table. Now we're going to have to show you the table in little chunks here because of Sunderland's position. This is top half from 4th, reading down from 4th. So Sunderland are 12th. They've moved up to 48 points now. I feel like we've been stuck on 47 for a long time, as we obviously have. But now they move on to 48. Beneath us, this is how it looks. And this is only down to Stoke, who are probably in trouble more than most of those teams featured on the screen. But a little bit of breathing distance with that point this afternoon.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at it, obviously you've got the gap there. I mean, you're 5 points up to Cardiff in 11th, really. So, yeah, it's one of those where we said it there, we're looking over our shoulders more than we are looking at maybe getting back into the playoffs, if we're honest. And as you mentioned, there's Stoke 3-0 at home to Norwich. They're struggling down the bottom there, aren't they? But yeah, we have got that little bit of a cushion, taking the point today. And as you say, you get some bodies back out ready for the next game against Cardiff away, isn't it? Next time out, I think.
It is.
Yeah,
and that's on after the international break. That's a Friday, that one. On Easter weekend, Good Friday, and then we play Blackburn Rovers on the Monday.
Yeah, result of the day there, 6-0, Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday. Oof.
Scoring some goals this season, aren't they, Ipswich? They've got about 10 strikers,
yeah, it's true,
and they strengthened in January.
Yeah, makes a difference.
Let's have a look at your thoughts then, we haven't got any of those. In fact, that must be pretty much it then for the game this afternoon here on SAFC Live. Easy shift for you, Danny. Before we go into the international break, obviously not leaving things with a win, but perhaps the next best thing.
To say that was important for me coming here today and speaking to people outside the ground before getting out the car, and they're all a bit not sure about today, and I said I'd take a draw now if you offered it me, to be fair, to say put those running defeats to a halt and then build on it if we can. Again, it wasn't a classic one, it wasn't pretty. Fans will be in the pubs now and getting back home and they'll be like, oh, that was a dour game. And if we're honest, it wasn't end to end. Their keeper hasn't had a save to make. Anthony Patterson's been the busiest of the two goalkeepers throughout the 90 minutes. But it's one of those, as I say, it's been a difficult run, hasn't it? Mike Dodds has taken over in recent weeks, and we mentioned it before the game there. He's had constant amount of bodies coming out of the team. Dan Ballard suspended, Luke O'Nien suspended, injury after injury, and he's had to just get on with it, roll his sleeves up and dig in. And he'll be relieved tonight, I think. He'll watch the game back over the next day or so, I'd imagine, and think what could we have done a little bit more creative-wise in the final third. But he's looking at the bodies, what he's got in and around at this moment in time. And as we keep saying, you've got your two main out-and-out outlets in Jack and Patrick injured as well. Hopefully you can get one or two of those back in the next week or so, and we can look to finish the season on a high.
Okay, Danny, thanks for your company this afternoon here on Foundation Day. If you do want to donate, you can still do so. You have to text in FOL5, all one word, that's FOLFIVE, to 70085. And that will donate £5 to the Foundation of Light. I've got my hat on, see? Okay then, Sunderland are next in action after the international break on Friday, the 29th of March, Easter weekend, away at Cardiff City. Have a good international break. We'll see you soon.